I got a plan for this place. I got a man with some niggas. My nigga a 10 up a nigga. He doing janitor favors. This is reality music. I'm doing janitor favors. I just be showing and proof. I don't be having the haters. I don't be having the haters. I don't be having the haters. I don't be.
Hey, y'all. We're in here today. WCND, welcome to Couple Level Podcast. It's me, Janny Spanny, and my girl, Mogul Queen, JERNICA, QUINONES.
Yes.
Thursday, and it's still Hotline Bling. So y'all see it right there, Hotline Bling. Call the number. We're going to have a contest, and we are giving away a pair of show tickets. That's right. It's a pair of show tickets. Damn, what did I do with the flyer? Well, it's a pair of show tickets to the Too Damn Funny comedy show at the Showboat in Atlantic City, July 2nd. And you guys know we got great seats for you. Okay? We got great seats, and it's a pair of tickets. And we're going to have our subscribers able to call in and win. All right. How you like that, guys? You guys able to call in and win.
Right.
Call in
and we'll be shortly telling you the
That's right. What number is going to be called? What lucky winner is going to be called? So subscribers, you can win a pair of show tickets on this Hotline Bling. You can be the lucky caller at 856-964-WCMD. Scroll on the bottom. Okay? You're going to be required to show a screenshot that you liked one of the pages of the Comfort Level Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that will be your requirement to receive these awesome tickets. Okay? And a surprise package worth over $100.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
Definitely.
Worth over $100. What's up, y'all, over there in Instagram land?
Shout out to Instagram Live.
Instagram, we're live here, streaming on 10 platforms today. Yeah.
I was about to say 11 with mine, because
right.
I'm on my Facebook page over here going live on the corner as well.
10 platforms, like I told you. So, Thursday is Mental Health Day. Mental health motivation is what we do. And we're going to bring a great guest that's also going to give us some inspirational motivation later on, which his name is Mike FIORE. Right? So he's going to give us some inspiration as well.
Yes. I'm excited for that.
So what's going on, you guys? What's going on? Leave your comments in the box. Anything that we talk about, any topics that you want us to talk about, leave them in the box. All right. So what's going on, JERNICA? I had a good week.
I want to say I was in training all week. Right. To continue the good fight on, just promoting that child safety and awareness between all my missions that I be on. And my ultimate mission is to save one young life in any way that I see fit, or that I can help out the family, or that I can see change in the environment in which we live in. Because sometimes it don't be the family dynamics, it be the environmental dynamics too. So just being able to work with families and help distinguish that, and how to ultimately go from mental impairment to mental wellness state of mind. Just keep on promoting that child safety and awareness with pool safety and open water play. It's a lot of children right now that are drowning from home pools all the way to the ocean. And they even having like some dry drowning. If you don't know what dry drowning is, if your child is out playing and induce a lot of water, may go home, go to sleep, and experience death at home sleeping because their lungs is filled up with water, or they can experience a fever that leads into a high fever and have to be taken over to the hospital. Sometimes there's so much water in their lungs that has to be removed. It's almost like a near dry drowning. That's what they call it a lot, dry drowning, because they happen at a settled place, not in the pool setting. So you have to be aware of that. Parents, that if a child induce so much water, their lungs is but so big, and that lung capacity can't take in that much water pressure. And if so much water sitting on the lungs can turn into that pneumonia, or lung disease, and they could ultimately still die from a near drowning or dry drowning. So you have to be very, very, very vigilant. And I say vigilant, don't worry about what you hear, worry about what you see when you're near pools, because ultimately it's your vision that will save one young life. Just being aware, and just, making sure that you are watching every child. Just don't look at your child, watch every child. There's on my page I just shared earlier a situation that happened at a high school where two students drowned in the deep end of the pool at school, and there was three lifeguards there, but they weren't being vigilant, so they didn't even see them at the bottom of the pool. And by the time they brought them up, they were drowned, so they died. And it's unfortunate circumstance, because there were lifeguards on duty. And in a lot of these places, you have to know too, and stating that when you're doing open water play, there isn't sometimes no lifeguards on duty. It's a swim at your own risk policy. So you don't want to be ultimately responsible for that either, just for a quick moment of fun. So if your child is scared of water, like, don't introduce a child to water. If they're frightened by water, it's okay. Just pull them back. Listen, if you have to sit out a summer, sit out a summer, with that open water play. And especially when it comes into going into deep water and into pool settings, because you ultimately telling a child that they're not okay to be in their emotions, to being frightful to this water. It's okay to swim openly, and then when they change their fear and now having fun, they ultimately find themselves in a position where they're drowning, and the same person who basically pushed them to that side is not even there watching them. Like, there's another case in Atlantic City. They said that a child was swimming, and ultimately the mom and them, I guess it must have been a party. I'm not sure really about too much, but they said like the mom was on the other side taking pictures with like friends. So like the child was drowning on one side, somebody called EMS, but the mother was like taking pictures, So ultimately trusting the child to be around open water. And in the organization, y'all know I have an organization called Rare Jewel, nonprofit organization, where we raise awareness for traumatic brain injury children related to near drowning. A child can ultimately drown in as little as a bucket of water. So even if you're at home mopping your floor and you turn around for one instant second and you have an infant that's just at a crawling stage, they go up to the bucket and start playing with the water and fall in. They can be ultimately drowning. You don't even know it.
This happens fast, y'all.
It happens fast. And you know what's the case studies that I have done? They said a lot of children drown more at home than they do out at the ocean. So we have to really be vigilant this year, y'all. I know it's been a lot going on. I know we have been experiencing a lot as a whole approach of just the whole world right now, just going through like pandemics, epidemics, um inflations, uh visual like increase in victims of mass shootings, children on children violent crimes, uh trauma, mental health, suicidal thing. So much going on, but ultimately, you know what? We still have to be what we are more there to be, a parent and the caretaker and ultimately the overseer of these children. And it's important for you to bring in your child, even if you are tired of them not listening or things like that of nature. I don't know what it may be, and your family dynamic. It's better just bring them into that safe haven and back into your home. Get your children. Go get your children. Don't allow them to stay out past a certain time at night. Even encourage them or educate them to
Talk
be
to 'em.
vigilant
Talk
while
to
they
'em.
are out there.
Talk to 'em. Find out what
Show
they
them how to
do.
call the emergency personnel. Kids don't even know how to even start to dial 911. Or how to look for or identify a person, because you know what? Some people have said like the police officers are all bad. So they don't even want to go over there to go get help, or just it's just so many factors being played out. But
It's the myths.
yeah,
Children are being led by the myths of what
yes,
people say and
yes,
stuff like that. People talk, and guess what? Their actions are very different.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so as to say, you might tell a child one thing, but you know that you do another thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good look, because kids need to know what is real. You know what I mean? You need to talk to that kid every day, find out what's going on in that kid's mind every day,
Mm-hmm.
because hour by hour,
Yes,
they're impressionable and their minds change.
yes, yes. Like on here, Wadia says like the little boy on the movie, right? Yes, definitely like that. And when he had a traumatic brain injury, that's how Ray Charles became blind, because he had a traumatic brain injury, and that was called a cortical blindness. It comes from the cortex and a part of the brain that is responsible for your visuals. So he fell into the bucket of water, caught that traumatic brain injury, and that led him to have a cortical blindness. But thank God that he was talented with or without visually. It just opened up his other talents. But everybody is not fortunate enough for that.
So you see what we basically saying? If it can happen to people like Ray
Mm-hmm.
Charles, you know what I mean?
Or my daughter,
would
like
think,
my daughter,
yeah,
and
you would think
ultimately
people
she
don't
wasn't even
have
in the pool.
problems.
She wasn't even in the pool. She was actually poolside eating the lollipop and fell in, hit her head first, and went unconscious. So she was unconsciously drowning while we were looking for her. So all of those things that, if you're at a family event around water, or just a public event around water, just take it in that it is your duty to just be vigilant of all children, be the overseer of all children. Don't be so selfish to say that's not my child, so I wasn't worried, because that's that. How would you feel if they didn't do that to your child?
No.
You know what I'm saying? And there's people out there, so that's why I'm putting it out there, because there really is people out there like that. And
It is.
you know,
That's a shame.
yeah. So
It's not my child.
we're moving into if you just tuning in, we're going to be giving away a pair of tickets to the comedy show for what date is it?
July 2nd.
July 2nd in Atlantic City. If you call the first caller to call in, is this segment is called a Hotline Bling.
Yeah.
So if you want to be the lucky caller,
Bling that
pay
hotline.
attention so like that we could
So we not lying.
yeah.
There they go.
There's a pair of tickets, two
There they
tickets.
go. Look at the value.
Yes.
There they go.
And
It's a value on there. All right. Right there.
so
Over $100.
yeah,
Okay?
so
That's what we do here.
that's gonna be over at the Showboat
Mm-hmm.
in Atlantic City.
And they got an after party if you want to go to that.
And
Pay for that.
well, listen,
I think you can get in the after party with your ticket stuff though. That's what I
okay,
think. Yeah.
okay, sound pretty good to me.
But the show is July 2nd from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Why ain't Janet going? What do you mean, why ain't Janet going? Janet's not going because Janet got to be here.
Mm.
There's a whole community day going on.
Yes, here at WCMD.
Yeah, there's a whole thing going on. What I got to do is a whole thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on, the whole thing. Yeah, that starts at 12 noon. It's over at 5 for this part, but then we got another part. And we need vendors, and we need acts, and we need people, we need brands, and we need speakers, and we need dancers, and we need comedians, and all kinds of stuff.
Vendors.
We need vendors. We need people in the community of Camden and the surrounding areas. I know y'all can't see me. And the surrounding areas to get with us. This is presented to you by Wilkes Promotions. Mr. Dave Wilkes is on his way up here now. Um, I'm not sure if he's going to speak on the podcast, but he's on his way up here now with the posters and the flyers. So, we can put out the posters so the community knows what's going on. But it's a phone number on here, and it's all on Facebook. So if you're listening to the podcast, that information is right there.
Absolutely.
Guess who we got? I'm not trying to change it, but I'm gonna be here. She brought it up. So we got Gary G7 Jenkins. I'm sorry. He's from Atlanta, and he is the lead singer of the group Silk. If y'all don't know who that is, y'all can go to YouTube. Seriously. And we also from Chicago. We have the '90s R&B group Public Announcement. They did a lot of music solo with their band and R. Kelly. And Camden rep, we got Poppy Up coming in, and a whole bunch of artists coming down on the lineup. Those flyers will be out soon, so let us know. Yeah. Let us know if you want. If you call in, you can win a ticket. Simple as that. You can win the tickets. We're gonna call when we call.
Should we moving to talk about July 8th?
Yeah. But when we call in for the hotline bling, the first caller will get the tickets. I'll let you know. So you better stay tuned.
Yes.
You know when I'm going to say call now. Okay? Call. I don't know when I'm going to say. Okay. All right. So moving right along, we got some more events coming up. Help for the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely, y'all. I am so excited. I am so excited to bring y'all this what I want to say, this festivity. It is going to be a major community event. It is Rare Jewel's first community day event. And it's the first. And I decided to hold off blowing bubbles for jewels, which is something that we do on the first week of June. But I decided to hold it off, and we're going to do it the day of the community day, because we're going to incorporate everything that I usually do separate that day in the community. So blowing bubbles for jewels event is usually something that we do. Every bubble represents oxygen. And what we do is we basically blow on bubbles as representative of oxygen, just throwing back the oxygen at traumatic brain injury children, because ultimately that's what happened. They lack oxygen to the brain. So it's like a hyper ischemia of events that goes on in there. So we're going to incorporate that. Then we're going to incorporate the life jackets on Walmart.com. You can find all of the things that we may need for either you can sponsor it or donate. We're looking for 100 life jackets. We're looking to service at least 100 kids in the city of Camden. And then we're going to end it with a second segment for it's called Camden's Light Up the Night and Glow and Pray instead of Go and Pray. So children's Light Up the Night and Glow and Pray is something that I want to put in there so that we could pray for the children and just show them that comfortability of just, it's okay to pray, to a higher power. It's okay to come out with your emotions. Somebody's always going to be available to hear you. I feel like that day when my daughter was on the ground, the EMS had pronounced her dead. She was ultimately dead on the ground. So I started praying to God that, he revived my daughter. And ultimately, I feel like it was my prayers who brought her back. So why not, just pray over all the children? All the children. I want all the children. Like I always said, since the beginning of me starting here at WCMD, the Comfort Level podcast, I want all the children to succeed. I want to continue to save in one young life. no matter which way we have to save these children, we're going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Power of prayer. That's nice.
So we're
So
going to
they're
start
gonna
off
light
with
up the
Michael
night with
Jackson. We
prayer.
are the world.
Is that a
We are the
candlelight
children.
visual or
It's gonna be with we're gonna have the glow sticks.
oh
So it's
glow
going yes.
sticks?
So it's
So you
basically
need
light
glow
up
sticks.
so it's called Children Light Up the Night
Yeah,
and Glow and Pray instead of Go and Pray.
right.
Glow and Pray because we have the
The
glow
glow
sticks.
sticks.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
I know
actually
we
have
did
glow sticks.
some of that.
So I want to see all the children. Like when I'm on stage, I want to see all the children waving. Like we're gonna do
Yeah,
like a
it's gonna be
wave.
lit.
And I'm excited for it, because I work behind the scenes a lot with a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
do the best
families
I
and a lot of
can with the
children.
game. I'm gonna do the best I can with
Yeah,
the
like
game on stage.
I do a
You
lot
know
of
I'm
stuff.
gonna string that bad boy.
But I don't never really get to see the children because I'm like when I'm giving out life jackets, I'm
So
servicing the
where's it
community.
at?
It's gonna be a lot of life jackets given out, so I don't really get to interact with the children. So right now the team is trying to work on what park we want to have it at because like I really want to have sprinklers there, so the children could get wet. I want it just to be an all day fun event. I don't want them to go on home if you dare to put clean, dry, cute clothes on your kids, you're going to be mad because at the end of the night, I want them to go home and like be so exhausted that all they
Well,
gonna need
what
is a
park got
shower.
sprinklers?
They
I
only
know
gonna need a shower and a bed, and they be done for you for the night, parents. Like that's it.
Fourth
Um,
Street. What's
well,
that?
we got the Camden High Park, the right there, the Park side. Camden High Park was that Farringham Park. We have the park on House Street East Side Park. We have what else? We have a couple of parks. It's just which one is gonna fit what I wanted to fit. And I want a stage on there because all the vendors I want to be targeted towards mental health. If you have an organization or you have an agency that's targeted towards mental health and children, I would love for you to come out and be a vendor. I'm not even charging for vending. I just want you to come out and be a vendor there. I want everything targeted towards mental health because right now is more increase in children that are becoming more suicidal. So I want them to let them know that there's help for them out there. I want them to know that there's somebody out here that really is going to take care of that mental health aspect. I'm willing to listen because that's all it start with, just listening and coming up with a solution. And the solution is that sometimes you can't do it, parent. You can't do it because sometimes
Can't
you're the
do it
trigger
alone.
and you can't do it alone. And what I'm saying is that,
They always saying
you know,
it takes a village.
it takes a village.
Where's the village?
So I'm inviting the village to
Where
come
is the
out.
village? Like this is
Right.
what they people always say.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village to raise a kid, but
Mm-hmm.
when you're trying to lend a hand and get some help, it's like mind your business.
Right. So
You
so
know,
so we can mind
and
our business, but here
mental
goes
health is
the
our
information.
business.
Like I'm gonna mind my business, but go here goes the information. Whenever you
Right.
ready, you know, then let's do it. Because no matter what, if you didn't know, the body of a person can only go under stress for 20 minutes. So it's only gonna be so long before the child goes under so much distress that they're gonna come out and talk about it anyway. So why not? So why even risk yourself and losing your children when you could ultimately just save them by getting them the assistance that they needed? So I say that because I really wanted to be targeted around mental health. We have Saving Grace coming out because Nizia, she's a pastor, she's a trauma facilitator, she's a life coach for children. She does all this targeted towards children. So she'll be coming out and being one of the guest speakers at the event.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Then we have Anthony McFadden with the Versatile Fitness. He's a he's a fitness coach, trainer, facilitator. But his belief is that core strength and training plus with a
What
good nutrition can balance out a child's mental health. So he's going to come out and speak on behalf of that.
can you? I want to see if you could call him up too, because I got this thing coming up. I want to ask him
Oh yeah.
sponsors.
So then what else? So I'm putting things together. I'm working behind the scenes with the team, the whole board, and we're gonna come up with some stuff put together. And just make sure that the kids ultimately have fun and knowing that what's going on with them neurologically, because a lot of kids don't even start to understand what happened. You know, like how can right? So we want to put the focus on that. That's important for me. That's important for the organization. A lot of children that are special needs are even going through mental impairment state of minds because there's lack of healthcare workers right now. So even if you could take some time out, yeah, yeah. So lack of healthcare, parents is going through a whole lot, right? So everybody, all the children are seeing an impact from it. All the children. If your child is on a spectrum, it is okay for your child to come out that day. Just if your child is physical disability, it's okay for your child to come out that day. If your child has an intellectual disability, it's okay for them to come out that day. I want a diverse of family because my family dynamic is diverse on all aspects. So I'm inviting
we don't
everything.
need everybody to come out there. That's all good and all fine.
Right.
And
right.
Don't need no.
So
nothing.
Since I'm a nurse and y'all know, most of y'all know that I'm a nurse, we even gonna have my nursing sisters are gonna come out and they're gonna be on standby. So they'll be there watching, making sure that the children are well taken care of as well. Any assistance that's needed, they'll be able to take care of it. And they need to call EMS, they have EMS. So yeah, we making sure that it's from all ways that these children are going to be wrapped around ultimately with love, because love cures everything, and love ultimately gives every child a safe place to act themselves, and know it's okay to be them uniquely themselves. Oh, we have a lot of stuff. Like I just can't wait for this community day and just be surrounded by the kids that I love the most, and continue to service all the children. Absolutely, just to service all the children and making sure that they okay and they growing up and they get to experience life and they get to go on to college if they want to, if they want to do entrepreneurs, become entrepreneurs. If they just want to be a stay at home person, that's fine, but my ultimate goal is to make sure that a lot of children start to increase in getting their education and advancing themselves as productive adults.
Yeah. So we getting ready to get it into it. For a second before our guest is going to come on in about a half an hour.
Yes,
I think we should call these tickets out.
Yes.
You think we should?
Let's go.
Huh?
Let's go. First caller. It's the first caller. So start the ready to dial because it's the first caller.
First caller wins 2 tickets to the comedy show. It's a hotline bling.
So, and the phone number.
First caller, call on.
The phone number is, y'all ready? Y'all better be ready to call 856-964-WCMD. Call in right now to win 2 tickets to the comedy show. Too Damn Funny Comedy Show, July 2nd at the Showboat. Call in, call in, call in.
Speaking of love, we got a song for you, right? From my man.
Call in right now to win the tickets to the Showboat. 2 free tickets.
Y'all ready?
Call in right now if y'all want to win some tickets to the Too Damn Funny Comedy Show at the Showboat in Atlantic City. We got 1 pair of tickets. If you want to call in, the phone number is 856-964-WCMD. Call in right now, y'all.
You've been away from me so long, but I just don't think I can carry on. So I started to drink each and every night. And I said, whoa. I know it looks so wild, but I go up to the day. All over my head,
y'all. The number one caller that calls in right now wins a pair of tickets, free tickets to the Too Damn Funny comedy show in Atlantic City at the Showboat Casino, July 2nd.
You can look at my eyes and see.
I'm about to go to Instagram. My phone about to die now.
Crying my soul and heart out to you, baby. Yeah. Sitting in my lonely room, filled with nothing but gloom, and I feel like, said I feel like just now. But I said no, you'll never see me naked. I don't know what you do with myself. All over my hands and knees, when you feel the
Calling now, y'all. 2 tickets.
Background sounding good, right, y'all? Keep it simmer down, so we're gonna play with it a little bit longer. Can I get a lovely lady up to the front? Any of you lovely ladies who wanna come give me a hand? Any of you lovely ladies? Come on up, no matter. I see you waving, but come on up. Any of you ladies, it doesn't matter who, you're all beautiful. You know, ever since you walked away, I've been crying all night long, baby. Said I told you wrong. Sorry, you say. Said I'm ashamed of me, baby. Said I wish I never turned you wrong. Hey, 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 hey. Take it on. Cause ever since the day you left, I don't know what to do with myself. All over my hands and knees, but if you're always right, oh, what I done
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all can't mess with that boy. No, I don't mess with that boy. Oh, I can't believe it. They coming here though. Oh man, y'all can't mess with that boy.
Absolutely
Corey
not.
Wims. That was I Miss You, his rendition of Teddy Pendergrass's I Miss You. He sang that in Tallahassee, Florida. That was the cowboy edition. He killed it.
Mm-hmm.
He killed it. He killed Corey Wims. We had Corey Wims up here on the podcast. We had a great interview with him that day. His interview, it was a little short because we had to share the stage with DC Glenn, DC the Brain. There it is. That day we shared with him. But y'all can always see the recap on my YouTube channel at Reality Music CO. Yeah. That was great. That was great. You know, what'd you think about that?
What about the song?
Yeah.
I mean,
You think he
listen.
can sing?
Not only can he sing, I was just wondering if he was missing me as much as he said.
Nah, I ain't missing you. You got a wife, babe.
Listen, these days you don't know who he's singing to.
He ain't say he miss you.
Y'all call in right now to the radio station. First caller.
Y'all gotta come
Winning a
on
free
in.
pair of tickets to
That's
the
right. Y'all don't want
comedy
them
show.
tickets. They don't want to call in.
856-964-WCMD. If you want these radio tickets,
Well,
these
this is how
tickets.
it's going. If they don't want the tickets, they don't want the tickets. I can scalp them Jones. You know, somebody will buy them. Y'all gotta come on.
856-964-WCMD.
I'm not giving away the gift cards and the cash money or any other prizes until these tickets are gone. Okay, so the promoter was nice enough to think about me and give me the tickets, but I can't. You know what I mean? I have other obligations.
Oh, got somebody calling in.
We got a caller.
We got a caller.
WCMD Comfort Level
Podcast.
Call number 1.
Stop playing with me.
Hey, Dee.
You got the tickets, Dee.
Yes, ma'am.
You are going
to the Too Damn Funny Comedy Show.
July 2nd at 7 p.m. You and a friend.
Yes, me and my baby daddy.
You and your baby daddy.
Yes.
That's what we do.
There you go.
The Level Podcast. But one thing I'm going to need you to do, Dee, when you pick up your tickets, I'm going to need your screenshot where you liked one of our pages.
Oh, I liked y'all pages. I commented. I had my family on y'all pages and all that. I was at one of the sessions, all that.
You see? There we go.
That's how it goes. All right.
Hey, Dee.
Traumatic brain injury. I'm all the way up in there.
You know?
Yes.
Come on.
You know that's right.
Neurosurgery, my specialty. So I'm definitely down for all that and everything.
Y'all supposed to be the first caller.
Right. All right, Dee, this is what we're going to do. Hold on the line. I'm going to take you off speaker and get your information so that we can get the tickets to you. Okay? Hold on. Yeah, you got it, girl.
So a caller just won.
Not playing. How can
free
we
tickets
get the tickets to you?
To the comedy show
or have them drop off
at the Showboat. Hey, Mary, what's going on?
Okay, so you know what time we're here, right?
My sister, mamacita, ¿cómo estás?
5 to 7.
We just have a radio caller.
Come get them.
She just came in, or she just called in, and she won tickets to the comedy show.
That's right.
On Saturday, July 2nd at the Showboat.
You got them. Thank you for calling. What's your number 1 podcast?
The Comfort Level Podcast.
That's right. All right. Thank you.
Yes, that energy is
that's how
vibe.
We do.
That energy was a vibe.
And that's how we do here at the Comfort Level Podcast.
Yes.
Down here interviewed to get her tickets. Let me get her the other information.
Yes. So I was just talking about the whole July 8th event. As y'all know, July 8th is a very celebrated day in my family. It's actually Juji's Blessed Day. We named it the Blessed Day was because, ultimately after her near drowning, she was pronounced dead. And then she was revived and has now been 9 years. It will be 9 years come July 8th for her traumatic brain injury. So we decided to do a Rare Jewel Community Day event. The park is to be determined because we're trying to just find a comfortable space where the children can comfortably run freely and also have sprinkler system there and where I can have the vendor set up and that's going to be targeted towards mental health and mental wellness. I want to just say mental wellness. And, I even have people that's coming out that do like coping strategies when you find yourself not feeling mentally well, what to do. Because sometimes, you just can't, you don't have to really go into to get into treatment or therapy or whatever you want to call it, sometimes it might take a little couple of breathing exercises or something like that, you know. So she's gonna come out, she's gonna even
It could
teach
be
how
the
to do,
smallest thing.
yeah,
Like
you
you
know,
don't
just
realize that
remind you
what
of
how
how,
small it is. You just need the
right,
trigger to say, boom, that's what it was. And then
right,
like, because you
mm-hmm,
might be thinking over here in left field,
exactly,
and we
yep,
over here in this field to say, no, stop,
mm-hmm,
stop,
yep,
right here.
just
You
teaching you
going too
some
far.
grounding techniques,
You have to do this one step first to take this step, and
mm-hmm,
you'll be fine. It could be something simple as that.
yep,
But if you don't examine it, the cause and effect is not the same.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, so I just want to bring that out there to the children, teach them how to do that grounding technique, how to find them tools in their imaginary pocket that they could pull out and use until, you know, they're in a safer place, in a safer environment. Sometimes the children struggle at even school. So them knowing them tools and having them tools in their imaginary back pocket can really make a difference to them in a school setting, you know, on how to keep on combating against that until they get home. So we'll have her come out. We have a couple of things getting set up. All vendors that's going to be Alma want is going to be have to be targeted towards mental wellness. I'm just shying away from all other vendors. I really want just either like a school educational vending and mental wellness vending, because those are the two of my missions, which is to keep children mentally well, and how to identify these things so we could be able to bring them to mental wellness. And also education is important for me for all children, especially those that are having needing them special services to continue moving forward in the educational setting. So now that you know, now you know you got to be paying attention.
Pay
So when we
attention.
drop that location and you already know the date is going to be July 8th. The time is going to be around 6 o'clock, like 6 o'clock. So and it'll be ending around 9 o'clock. So we're doing an
They gonna
evening.
get wet now.
Yeah, we're gonna have an evening event. It's still gonna be
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, it does.
It's still gonna be
It
light
just won't be as
outside.
hot.
It won't be as
It
hot,
won't
but
be as
they be
hot.
okay.
Right.
Just offer. I mean, they don't have to get wet. It'll just be there in that part for them to actually have the sprinkler system on to get wet. I spent a lot of time last weekend just taking my kids out to the park and letting them have fun. And you know what? Just ultimately seeing all the children running around in the sprinklers, just throwing a bucket of water at each other, and just having that ultimate fun experience was very. I took that very near and dear to my heart to saying, you know what, this is what I work hard for. I work and I work with all the families in the city of Camden for, so like that I can be able to see this. This is like my payment is to see children running around happy, because of course all the services that I do for free, and
That's
that was
deep.
my payment.
That's
That was
deep.
my payment right there to actually see children being children.
That's
And I
deep
can't
to
ask for
say.
nothing more than that.
That's deep to say. That's my
Mm-hmm.
payment.
That's my payment right there. What That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for smiles, genuine, happy laughter. Children just being children. Children are
I
first to
wonder
grow
why
up
it's like
fast.
that though. I
Hmm.
wonder why it's like that. We don't ask for much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We don't ask for much. Like
Mm-hmm.
why? Why is it that we want to do things for people? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's just from our, like, from especially me, from my own traumas. Like I I um I struggled with that growing up. Like nobody understood what was going on with me neurologically, and understood that every time I was
Yeah, but you could have
performing, it
went a
was an
different
escape.
way.
Right. So now that I know like how children can be um going through a fast neurological process of that, what we educate on through the seminars, is easier for me to say, hey, not only do I know it from the book standpoint, I know it from the experience standpoint. I ultimately understand what you're going through. Let me assist you on becoming mentally well so you can move forward as a productive citizen, and you don't have to worry about going into the facilities. You don't about incarceration. You don't have to worry about that, because is assistance for you out here. So it's just one of those situations that I find myself not only coming in as experienced, but also educated on it.
You know, I've been corresponding back and forth with a gentleman, a young gentleman, that's going to be a guest on the show.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Cod Schmidt. And you can also go to his website, Cod Schmidt, KAJSMIT.com, to read his story. It's going to be a very inspiring story where he was in a coma, suicidal, in a coma, suicidal, but he wanted to live, you know, and he's also an author or whatever. You know, I don't know the whole story. Well, he did give me some uh, highlights of the story, but you know, we're gonna leave it for when he comes on. You know, so I mean, all types of situations and things can happen. You know, going through your mind, and it takes talking. It takes thinking. It takes meditating. It takes physical. It takes mental reevaluation. And that's what we focus on here is reevaluating and motivating in order to break through the things that we were told we are, you know, when we know that in other ways God gave us these jewels to be different people. God didn't put us here to be mentally impaired.
Absolutely.
Nor has God stricken you with anything at all. You know what I mean? So when you're going through these type of things, you know, God is there waiting for you to take the steps to get to where you need to be, to take control. You know, he's going to lead you. You know, he's not going to do everything. You know what I mean? He's going to lead you. And you can take wrong turns, but you can always come back. That's the one thing about that. You can always come back. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Definitely,
Yes.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And you know,
we need this motivation.
And I do go by this scripture that it's very fast. Like it ain't got too many long, but I feel like it's empowering me.
To this guy, I'm gonna invite our guest.
Yeah. So
read that to me.
It's more so just found in Proverbs 10:12. And it said hate stirs up conflict, but love covers all offenses. So as easy as it sounds, like hate stirs up conflict. Like that stood up to me because like hate stirs up conflict. If it's a conflict, then if it's not addressed properly, then it turns into something that was like a hate crime, or it turns into hate crimes.
Hate is cruel.
Exactly.
So that's why there's conflict. You know?
So when a child comes to you with a conflict, and you don't listen to them, or you don't adhere to what's going on, they start to hate the fact that they even had that emotion, because that wasn't even an emotion that you gave them in the first place.
Or they start to believe that it was okay. Because you're not addressing a situation that happened to them that was a bad feeling. They feel like you condoned it. You let it happen. You didn't say anything. You didn't intervene. You know, even if you said, well, baby, I'm sorry you had to go through this. There's nothing we can do about it. And we want to put this in the past. Are you okay?
Right. So then that comes in with the love cover all offenses. Right. You know, like the love, just the love that you have for your child will cover everything.
Somebody offended your child. Your child was offended by whatever action took place.
And stay open and stay with your emotions out of it. Like let your child have the emotion they want to have.
Yeah, don't tell
or
them
let the
how to
person
feel.
have
I
they
hate that.
yeah, like let that person go through this emotion, because that's ultimately how they feel. You should
That's
never
my
tell
trigger.
nobody how to feel.
That's my trigger point right
Like
there.
I always stay
Don't
open to it.
tell me how I
Mm-hmm.
feel, okay?
Yeah.
Don't you be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can get it. If you tell me, no, you feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
I know I make weird faces. You telling me how I feel?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's a joke, but it ticks me off.
Me
Because you
too.
don't know what you're talking about. And now anything from there, it comes out your mouth is foolish to me.
I
You
mean,
know,
when I was a
because you
younger
know too
parent,
much. Because you're a mind reader.
when I was one or two or three kids in, I really thought like, you know what, stand straight. So what? I don't care if you're crying. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do that. I was this, that. And that worked for me. But ultimately I was leaving my children's feelings out. And then when it came for them to express feelings, it was kind of like,
You was a
why?
chill side.
Why you care
Why
about
was
my
you a
feelings
chill
now? I don't
side?
want to talk about that.
Oh,
And then
wow.
I really wanted to learn and wanted to know their feelings, but they was closed and bottled in.
That's crazy,
And
right?
that's the start of
It's a
basically having a
scary
mental
thing.
healthness,
Yeah.
because they wasn't able to express themselves, and they were boys. So I'm like, wait, like this can't be it, because I want my children to be able to express themselves, because openly expressing yourself will allow people to know, um or you could identify what people care for you and what people don't care for you, so you could be able to remove yourself from the situation. So the last thing I wanted to do was just make my kids feel like I didn't care about them, which I like, they're my life. So how can I not care for them? So I was like, wait, this got to change. Like, I want you to tell me everything, and your feelings is valid on how you feel. And that's how now, I mean, I'm 6 kids in. That's it though.
Six and
And
all.
it does be like come a little bit overwhelming, because all of them are uniquely them, so they all have different emotions. And the two little ones are, they have emotion, a lot of emotions, and they're spoiled, and I'm not scared to say that for her. So it's like, my daughter can be very over dramatic. Like, soon as she doesn't get her way, she just goes into action. And I always call it out. I say action. Cause you'll see her, she start running around in a circle, and then she throw her hands up, and then she goes back, and then she rolls all the way around, and then she comes all the way back. Yeah, so it's just like, okay, get up. You have to tell me what's going on with you. I don't understand that language. Like, I don't, and I tell her,
I was
I
just
end up
laugh.
calling
I'll
her,
be
I
laughing
call it
at her.
princess power. I'm like, don't use your princess power right now. You have to use your words. You can save your princess power for later.
Oh,
So
that's too
now
cute.
she
That's
says,
too cute.
okay, like, no, 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 no,
Cause
don't
I
use your
wear her
princess
ass
power.
out.
And you know what?
That's your
A lot of
princess
old
power.
school people be
No,
like,
I'm just playing.
if you don't get that kid up off that
Get
floor,
out
like,
of there.
don't let her do all that. And I'm like, you know
Princess
what?
power. Like, when did that become princess power? But it's cute. I mean,
Yeah.
because a lots of times, we saying this, I tear that ass up, but it don't work. It
Uh-huh.
doesn't always work. Them
Mm-hmm.
kids are still falling out, But that's cute if you could say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, we're not gonna use your princess power right now. I'm like,
How's
you
my
have to
video
tell
popping
me.
up on there when we supposed to be on
What? Mm-hmm.
there?
Oh,
I
where?
don't.
So I'm like, you have to tell me, and then she'll eventually tell me. Like, once she gets over, I'll let her be in, over dramatic and using all her princess power. She'll finally get up, and she'll notice that I really didn't really adhere to what she was doing. So then she'll get up and she come over to me, and now she's now tired of crying. So now she feels like she just cried everything out and didn't even tell nobody nothing. Now she wants to tell me it. And it be like so simple. I'm like, you just did all this crying
Cry
for
for
that?
nothing.
Come on, like, give me a
Nothing.
break.
Well, it's just wanting to be heard.
Right. And it just wanting to be heard.
You know?
So
Cause I be
it
crying
happens
sometimes
fast.
too. I be crying sometimes too, wanting to be heard. You know, part of the reason why we got this podcast going on here because I wanted to be heard. In business. I play behind the scene a whole
Mm-hmm.
whole lot. And I still do it, and I still put everybody up front. You know, because that's what I do. You know, my job is to push you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the things that I have in business, I'm giving away. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, I don't have a booming, profitable business. I do okay. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, I just feel like ultimately, she's one of them children that says, "Are you here? Do you see me? Do you hear me? Do I matter?"
yeah.
And so I always say that, like,
some good
I
stuff.
see you.
She got some good loving for you.
Right. Like, I see you. I hear you. I'm here. I'm telling you, if you tell a child, I see you, I hear you, and I love you, and I'm here, that would definitely make you notice, because of course the child's gonna ask you, like, do you see me? Do you hear me? You know?
Yeah.
So try it. It'll work. But we have our guests coming on now.
Yeah, we're about to bring in our guest for the day, and I want to put that up and see if we can get a little bit of inspiration. So what we're gonna do to you guys today is we're gonna bring in our guy, Mike Fiore.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you?
Mike, are you able to hear us?
I hear you guys loud and clear. I hear you.
I can't hear you.
No, hold on. What about now? Still nothing?
I'm about to say, when he put it up there, I seen it had the mic off.
Is your mic on?
It says on. Let me leave and come back. Hold on.
I think he said you're gonna come out to come back in.
Okay, it's gonna come back in.
I want to say you don't gotta press nothing over there.
Hmm.
You don't have to press nothing over
Nah.
there. Okay.
Okay, Mike's gonna come back in for us. So he's gonna get his thing together so we can hear this. Let's see, let's try.
You hear me now?
No. Why do we have problems with this mic?
I hear you guys.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you.
He said he think
it's on our side.
No, I don't know. No, I hear you. You don't hear me though, right?
All right. Let me see what I can
Hold on. Let me give the permission. Hold on.
Now you hear me.
I hear you guys. Yeah, you don't hear me?
All right. I don't know what to do. Are you able to call a number? Or we could do you over speaker. You could stay on the screen and just dial in.
What's the number?
Let me post the number up here for you. That's the number. He went out. I wanted him to stay in. All right, it's technical. We're gonna be all right. He's gonna come back in, or we'll talk over the telephone. That's how we're gonna do. Oh, here he goes again. He wants to do it like this.
Let me tell you, still nothing.
The mic is present.
It's showing the mic is present. I don't know why.
Because let me see. Hold on.
All the mics. We did a mic check. Okay, Mike, if you can dial 856-964-9263.
All right, hold on, let me write it down.
964 WCND. Dial it. Okay, we
What's
have
the
our
number?
guest
Tell me again.
and I'm gonna restart the live.
Can you tell me the number again? What's the number?
It's 856-964.
Okay.
What is it? 9263.
Okay, hold on.
Mike? Yeah, hold on. Let me put you on speaker, okay? Hold on. All right. Let's see if we can hear it.
But he
Now,
froze on this. Oh, there you
no,
go.
he's not frozen. We're live with our guy, Mike Fiore, Inspired to Inspire. He's coming to give us some inspiration today and some motivation. I'm Janny Schmanny. Welcome to the Comfort Level Podcast and WCMD Media.
Yes.
This is Mogul Queen.
Yep.
Tell them what you do.
I am a nurse. I have a nonprofit organization in the city of Camden called RAREJEWEL nonprofit organization where we raise awareness for traumatic brain injury children related to near drowning. And then I also have an MQ consulting agency where I target the educational setting and I assist parents with legal documentation to help out children that are going through a mental impairment until they become mentally well and stable to continue their education. So I do a few things. Don't worry about me. We're here to talk about you, Mike. I wanna get some inspiration from you.
I think why they call you Queen, though. You're Queen of everything you just said that you do. I appreciate everything that you do. I appreciate anybody that's willing to give more to others than take for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what God created us for, right? First and foremost, I do want to thank you guys for having me on your platform. Thank you for your platform. Thank you for bringing awareness.
Thank you.
So I am, quick brief introduction, I guess. My name is Michael Fiore. I'm the CEO and founder of Inspire, as well as partners with the Sober app. The reason Inspire the name is because I do believe that we all have something inside of us that can help somebody else on their journey. That's what God created us for, right?
Absolutely.
And the more people you help on your journey, the more people they can help, and then the more people that are find you to help you on your journey. Because from the book that I read that is known as the Bible, I don't get anything out of it that says self-preservation. You know what I'm saying? Like, every story in there is doing more for others than you do for yourself. And being an addict in recovery, because that's my story. My father was a heroin addict. He shared needles, got HIV, died of AIDS in 2009. My mother contracted the virus from him, also an addict. I grew up in a household of quote-unquote junkies, but I didn't live a life of a child of junkies. So I didn't have childhood trauma. I didn't have, PTSD. The drugs for me was an escape. At first they were magical. They made me feel ways that I never experienced. They were also the solution to a problem. The problem is they just stopped working after a long time, the drugs.
So you don't. I'm sorry. So you don't think none of it was any trauma, because we kind of classified that a little bit.
No, he didn't see it as trauma. If you can't see it as trauma, it was not traumatic to him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was a normal family dynamic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we had Christmases. There was love in the home. What led me to drug use? Like, my parents never fought. We weren't hit as child. I got to witness true love from my parents. I've never seen. They definitely argued, but they never argued in front of us. My father raised two kids that weren't his. They called him dad. We all had the same Christmases. We
did the same shit.
Yeah.
I get it.
So what led me to drug use was the one thing that was missing, because my father was on methadone, because my mother was on methadone. Every time I came home, there was a lot of incidents where my dad was in the bedroom sleeping, my mother was on the couch sleeping. So, like, growing up, the validation was lacking.
Right.
The love was there, but there was moments in time,
right,
baseball games, football games, graduation, where they weren't there.
Right.
And because of that, that's what led to my drug. Because we're not addicts because we use drugs. We use drugs because we're addicts. We're dependent on the drugs. There's many forms of dependency that deal with the mental illness known as addiction. You got eating disorders, you got gambling, you got sex addicts. So it's not the drugs that are the issue. It's our mental health that's the issue.
Yes.
You know, addiction is not a disease. It's a mental illness. A disease is something that could be maybe possibly cured. There is no cure for addiction. You know what I'm saying? An illness is more has to do with self-diagnosis. I haven't found any research where doctors have been able to prove that addiction is a disease. You know what I'm saying? And I think our self-talk, how we speak about it, our self-talk is the program we install into our computer with the brain. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how we speak about things, us addicts actually create the stigma that we don't like, that the stigma is associated with addiction. Like, we believe it more than the people that are speaking about it. And our addiction, I say addiction, you could say devil, you could say enemy, you could call it whatever you want to call it. There's an element in this world that does not want us to succeed. There's an element in this world that knows us better than we know ourselves, has thousands of years of studying us. You know, so like, my addiction's so cunning, it's so manipulative that I have to watch how I say the things I say and what I really mean when I say it. But what led me to drug use was the perception, right? I was easily liked as a child. My first true addiction was the joy I got from people liking me, right? So what that led me to do was want to be everybody's friend. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the feeling of people liking me.
Right.
What that could lead me doing, because there's a quote, a friend of everyone is a friend of nobody. Me trying to be everybody's friend, I had to compromise my standards, my beliefs. I had to manipulate. I had to lie. I had to become whatever it was I thought you like because I seen value in everything else.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, what you thought about me was more important than what I thought about myself. You know what I'm saying? So my identity was attached to things that were outside of myself. A car, a girl, an apartment, money in my pocket. That's what the enemy wants us to do. The enemy wants us to chase things. God wants us to be patient. You know, like that's why the Bible says love is patient and love is kind.
Yeah.
Love is not a feeling. That's what movies teach us. Love is an action. It's doing things despite how you feel. You know what I'm saying? That's what kindness is. That's what patience is. It's doing things despite how you feel. So since my identity was always attached to things outside of myself, when I would lose those things, I lost my identity. So the drugs allowed me to create an ego. And what the ego allowed me to do was be okay with you knowing things about me that weren't true. You know what I'm saying? Like if you thought I had something I didn't have it, I was cool with it. If you thought I did something and I didn't do it, I was cool with it. Like I said, what you thought about me was more important than what I thought about myself. And when we live like that, when we live in a life of judgment, it's kind of like being a prisoner in a cell, being watched. You know what I'm saying? Like you're never able to become your true self. What the many blessings I see from my past, right? Because our past doesn't need to be changed. Our past needs to be learned from. God has put us on a journey to make us better. God does not make mistakes. You know, like our lives are predetermined before we were even born. So if you're going through hardship, it's not because you did something wrong. You're going through hardship because God loves you so much. He knows you can handle it, and He needs you to go in the darkness and grab some of us out that can handle it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, to me, Christianity is not a religion. Christianity is a relationship. It's your personal relationship with God. So if you have children and you're watching this, you have a personal relationship with each one of your children. You know which ones are stronger in what areas.
Right,
you know which ones you can push up what time. You know what I'm saying? You don't treat every single one of them the same because no two people are the same. If anything, us being different is what makes us distinct. You know what I'm saying? But us thinking that we have to be like other people, it will never be. Nothing wrong with comparing. Like nothing wrong with the person you want to compare yourself to, but you're selling yourself short because you're not them and they're not you. You know the odds of life for coming for you two women to be there and for me to be here today. The odds are 400 trillion to 1. Wow. So now go to Vegas and bet against those odds. How many times are you going to win? Not at all. So the fact that we're even alive is a win. You wake up in the morning, you're winning. because that's not in your control. You don't get to go in your brain and be like, all right, let's wake up to it. No, God is waking you up. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, I didn't think I was worthy to speak to God, because being an addict, we have something called these foxhole prayers. You know, it's like an army term. You know, like they're in that little foxhole, the bombs are going off. They're praying to God, please, God, save my life, right? So I would have situations in my life where I had these foxhole prayers. And God, please get me out of the situation. I promise you I'll take the drugs. And as soon as I'm getting out of the situation, I'm already thinking about the
Run right to it. Yeah.
You know? So for a long time, I didn't feel worthy of, but God can't answer prayers if you're not praying to Him. And, you know, like, God created us. You know what I'm saying? So He like, we live on earth. We don't live in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I've learned in this process of recovery and this process of finding myself and, you know, becoming wholesome, because I don't like the word broken. I don't think we're broken. You know what I'm saying? Because when something's broken, it can never be put whole again. Your car breaks down, you get it fixed, it's going to break down again in the future, right? So where I'm at is, I'm not broken. I need healing. Depression, PTSD, trauma, anxiety, all these things need to be healed. But me trying to think I'm broken means I can never be put whole again. What recovery allows us to do is become wholesome again. We don't become the people who were before the drugs, because the drugs were just what we chose to deal with issues. You know what I'm saying? What recovery allows us to do is become wholesome. What I mean is the mind and the soul works together, right? There's no more bondage. I'm no longer fighting the man in the mirror. I'm no longer fighting the man within. I'm no longer at peace with my addiction and at war with the world. I'm not at war with my addiction. I'm at peace with the world. I no longer hate myself, so I no longer see hate in the world. You know what I'm saying? But what I've learned on the process is the appreciation of things, right? So if I ask you the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg, it's not meant to find out what came first. It's to see the appreciation of the chicken to the egg and the egg to the chicken. There's not one without the other. So now where I'm at in my life, by trying to suppress joy, pain with my drugs, I was never able to feel joy. By trying to suppress my sadness with drugs, I was never able to understand where happiness comes from. By not learning from my failures, I was never able to succeed in life. So my addiction, all it is a trickster. It's a magician. If you went to a magic trick and they sawed that box in half, you're not entertained. Why aren't you entertained? Because you know there's two people in the box.
Change the banner down at the bottom. Change the banner to his down at the bottom.
Yes.
You know how the trick works. So when you know how the trick works, so how does your addiction trick us? Like, we don't need to be given recovery. Recovery is inside of us. So for anyone listening, I'm going to show you proof on how what we do and who we are two different things. You know what I'm saying?
You had those.
We are makes us better at what we do, whether it's good or bad. So like grit, the definition of grit is doing something you don't want to do, right? We had grit in active addiction because we didn't want to run our lives into the ground, but we did it anyway. We need grit and recovery because sometimes you don't want to do this, but you got to do it anyway, right? Motivation. When I woke up and didn't have money for drugs, I got some drugs that day because I was motivated. You know what I'm saying? Motivation is also in recovery. But I learned what motivation is as well. Motivation is the last stop, so to say, on the train, right? The first stop is self-discipline. Self-discipline will lead to good habits. Good habits will lead to consistency. Consistency leads to progress. Progress leads to happiness. Happiness then leads to motivation. You know, never motivated unless I was happy. Nobody wakes up feeling like shit. Nobody wakes up feeling like shit. It's like, all right, I'm motivated to go do something today. No, it doesn't work out like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of things in life have changed. My perspective equals my potential, right? How you see anything is how you see everything. Everything in life, that's why people can look at the same thing in two different ways. You know what I'm saying? It's your perspective. For a long time, I had shame. I thought I was a piece of shit. I thought I was a lowlife because I robbed, I stole. I was just a menace to society for a very long time. What I realized is if you have guilt, you shouldn't have shame. Because guilt shows that you have remorse, that you did something wrong, you understand what you did was wrong, and now feel that you did stuff wrong. If you were such a POV, was such a piece of shit or lowlife, those type of people don't have guilt for what they do. They don't care.
They don't care.
Keep it moving. So if you have guilt, You're a good person. Don't think you're a bad person because you did some things you're not proud of. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened yesterday is irrelevant if you don't take it today. And that goes for good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we do today is relevant for what we do tomorrow. So therefore, the only thing that ever had value, the only thing that's ever going to have value is this moment in time.
Yeah.
The only thing you can control your work ethic is in this moment in time. We live in the past so much because change is inevitable. That's permanent. You cannot stop change. No matter how much you try to stop it, it's going to occur one way or another. So make it work for your benefit. Instead of trying to change your past, why don't you make change building for the future? But if it's your past that you want to change so much, I'm an analytical person. That's why my pastor in the beginning thought I was going to analyze the Bible instead of understanding the Bible, because the Bible could be just words in a book. If you always
the reference,
you have to walk those words. You
yeah,
feel those
words.
You got to express those words with your action. There's a lot of people that can recite the Bible better than me. There's a lot of people that know the Bible better than me. But I know who's actually reading the Bible the way I'm reading it by how you're living your life. And it's not my job to tell you to go find God either, because that's not what Christianity is. It is my job to let you know He saved my life, though, and how He saved my life. And it's up to you to go find them wherever you need to go find them. And they speak about God being the egotistical person on the throne wanting to praise. He's so merciful, and His grace is so beautiful. You don't even got to call Him God if He's still going to bless your life. You can call Him higher power. You can call Him Allah. You can call Him whatever you want to call Him. As long as He just wants you to speak to Him. He just wants you to understand and let Him know. Give Him your pain. Give Him your struggle. And then let it go and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get these moments of clarity because I don't seek knowledge. I seek clarity. Knowledge limits us. You know what I'm saying? Like, my knowledge when I was using drugs was that I couldn't do any better than that. My life sucked on the drugs. My life's going to suck without the drugs, right? Knowledge without imagination will limit you. You need imagination. You need to be able to look outside the box in order to see a better life. So how do you get to look outside the box? What I did was I got enough people that were living better than I was. I got enough people that had things that I want. Because for a long time, I lived with people that were doing worse than me. So I could be like, well, I'm not as worse as them. And I could feel better about the shitty situation I was in. When you get around people that are doing better than you, they allow you to imagine your life better than where it is at the moment. Let's take the Wright brothers, right? The two gentlemen that created the airplane. The knowledge of the world at that point was that we couldn't fly. We couldn't build airplanes. Their imagination allowed them to look outside of the box of that knowledge. And they were able to create the airplane. So now, with knowledge and clarity, what's the difference between the two? Clarity is understanding what things are and what they really mean and why they really happen, right? Knowledge thinks we know the answer. I can know shit, to be honest with you. The less I know, the more I'll be able to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When we try to find answers for things, we want to close doors. Some doors aren't meant to be closed. Some doors are meant to always be open.
Good point.
But what happens is when we want to find answers for things and we can't find them, what do we need to do? We usually come up with our own answers for shit.
Change the story.
And those are never good answers. So, because wherever we are in that moment in time, however we're feeling, that's going to, I guess, take control of our judgment of it. I don't ask why there's evil in the world. I don't ask why this, why that, why this. It's not meant for me to understand God's wisdom. But what I do ask is how can I be of service? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because evil is necessary. Homelessness, necessary. Like people going hungry, necessary. The reason it's necessary is because God has given us the opportunity to help each other, but we're not stepping up to the plate. Not all of us anyway. You know what I'm saying? Only a few of us. But we want this world to be such a better place. You know how you change this world? Not by ending world hunger, not by ending homelessness, by becoming the change you want to see in this world.
That's right.
When you become the change you want to see in this world, your world changes. When your world changes, the world around you changes. And it's funny. funny. Like the way I found God was in a very unconventional way. So I detoxed off 140 milligrams of methadone for 12 years. Right? I went about 4 months without sleeping. Halfway through of not sleeping, my best friend, my mother, my everything died on Thanksgiving Day. 3 weeks into being drug free. So like in the
My
moment,
mom died the day after
I
Thanksgiving.
recall sitting there and like speaking to God, and I thank God. And this is why I thank God, because her quality of life is not that which somebody should endure because of AIDS.
Right.
And I think we get selfish when our loved ones get sick because we care more about how we're going to feel when we lose them than their actual end of happiness, right? So, and then we worry about the time we're not going to have with them instead of appreciating the time we did have with them. That's selfish because all we care about is how we're feeling. So, like, that's like me saying the 37 years I had with my mother wasn't enough because I'm not going to have her. She walks with me in my heart. I speak to her more now than when she was alive.
Yeah.
I don't mourn her. I celebrate her. I celebrate her by how I live today. You know what I'm saying? That unconditional love that she gave me is the same love that I give the world. When I cry, when I get upset thinking of my mother, I thank God because God has shown me that I was able to love somebody at a moment in time when I thought I had no love in me whatsoever because of the drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Your memory could have been wiped out.
100%.
100%. Mike, you are lit. You are on fire. I'm so glad you came here because you are just enlightening us on a lot of things, you know. Everything that you're saying is A1 to the point.
Yes.
It's A1 correct.
Definitely is. And I think it's funny because tomorrow is my mother's birthday, and my mother passed away 2 years ago from brain cancer. And all I can say, because I am a Christian too, and I do believe in the relationship with God, and ultimately Jesus Christ was my savior. I got shot at by the age of 2. So I say that because I last year, when I first celebrated her happy heavenly birthday, I thank God. And I thank God for the same thing that you thank God for. Once you sit up close and front and personal with someone and seeing them go through all the transformations of what pain can do and how much pain they endure, you ultimately just wait for that moment till they set free. And it gives you that type of relief, that knowing that you don't have to endure seeing them in pain anymore. Although we miss them in the physical, we know because of our belief in our higher being and ultimately in God, that we know that on our behalf, if anything, they have definitely found rest in him. So that's how I move on day to day. People always ask me how I move on day to day. And I just appreciate you saying that and taking time out to say that, because that lets me know for sure too that you are getting that relationship with the best book I say it is in the world. And no matter how many times you read it, the outcome of reading it can always you know, keep on transforming your mind, because ultimately the book is to have that relationship to be just like him. So I definitely am taking that away, because a lot of people here just thought that, I was like numb. I wasn't really showing too much expression about it or anything like that. And I'm like, no, I'm just actually thanking God, because I've seen her go through a lifetime of struggles. And my mom did a lot of drugs to cope with her pain, for a long time, all from street drugs, which is now called abnormal uses, to the normal uses, which is the medical drugs. So either one of those you want to partake is still a drug. So whichever one carried, always, I say none of them outweighs the other. They both carry the same term, which is addiction.
Well, Mike, you actually have we do live audience here, so
Yes.
I got people in here that's listening
cool.
to you speak. So
Yes.
this particular guest, we had a contest earlier,
Mhm.
and she won a pair of show tickets. So I make sure.
Yes,
you
yes,
got
yes.
them. Yes.
Mhm.
Hello, everybody
Mhm.
there. Appreciate you guys being here.
DD
Keep
Tucker.
talking that talk, because you talking it.
So for a long time, the spirit, like if you're an active addiction, there is no longevity without spirituality, right? And a lot of us, we have these fanatics when it comes to religion that really turns people off to the religion. Like if you don't find Jesus, you're gonna die, and all that. So it turns people off.
Right.
Spirituality is your relationship with reality.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on around you? Is it happening for you, or is it happening to you? Because if you feel like it's happening to you, you're gonna take it real personal, and you're not gonna be able to learn the lessons and blessings, right? See the blessings and everything. My perspective does equal my potential, right? The word "I can't." If you say that word, it's a prison. You will always live in it. You will never even do anything in your life. If you say I won't, you won't even try something. I've never done anything that I said I couldn't do or I won't do. Right? But if you say I can, that's your passport to success. If you say I will, then you will take the hits of life. I see value in everything that's going on.
Right.
Because everything that's going on around me is happening for me. It's not happening to me. Like pain. We were speaking about pain, right? Pain is like currency. You know what I'm saying? It's a universal language. What's going on in our world today is that I don't watch television for this simple purpose. The media is trying to divide us, trying to make us see that there's differences between us, right?
I thought that.
Well, a Shaolin master speaks about the 5 hindrances of life, and one of them is called ill will. It means that we don't see the interconnectedness between each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got blood in your veins, you got air in your oxygen. That's all I need to know to rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Because my addiction is not racist. It doesn't discriminate.
Absolutely.
It don't care if you got kids. It don't care if you got to pay your rent. It don't care about your sexual orientation. It don't care about what God you pray to. So why would I care about any of that? I need you to help me to get where I need to go so I can help other people. Because I don't want to get to the top of the mountain alone and be able to look at the view by myself. What's the point?
What's the point? You need to take people with you.
This isn't even about getting to the top of the mountain and sticking my middle finger up at people that call me a junkie, crack, and told me that I couldn't do this. Because in that moment, they were right. I was a junkie. I was a crackhead.
Absolutely.
You know, they were right. It's about getting to the top of the mountain, though, and telling the old me, excuse my language, go fuck yourself. You were wrong about me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because that's what this is about. I'm not in competition with people. I don't agree with the ideology that you got to outwork somebody to get where you want to go. Because if you got to outwork somebody, that means I see you as competition. If I see you as competition, how are you going to be able to help me? God puts people in our path to help us. God speaks to us through people. So if you think that if I think you're competition, I'm not going to want to hear what you got to say. I'm not going to tell you what's helping me. So therefore, we're not going to grow. The only person you got to outwork is who you were yesterday. The only person you need to be in competition with was who you were yesterday. Because the only person in this world that can stop you is you.
Exactly.
There's everything in this world. There's enough money for everybody. There's enough cars for everyone. There's enough mansions for everybody. Nobody's taking anything that's due for you. The only person that's preventing it is you at the end of the day. And once you understand that you are the reason that you are where you are at today, maybe you'll start changing. Because the question isn't why my life got so shitty. The question isn't why I'm an addict. The question is, how did my life get so shitty? When you ask how, it shows all the actions. It shows exactly where I was. Well, how did I become an addict? I start looking in my past and I start seeing things like I didn't get validation. When we ask why, we're looking for sympathy. You know what I'm saying? We're looking to play that victim. You can't play victim for choices that you make no more. We made the choices.
Absolutely.
No matter what, we got the power of choice. We don't do I didn't use drugs against my will. I used drugs because I took my will back from God. I don't understand when people like I used against my will. No, you didn't use against your will. Let's keep it a buck for a second.
Yes.
You used because of your will. You
Absolutely.
once you make something a choice, the choice presents itself. So if you don't make making your life better a choice, the choice never going to present itself. But what happens is when you make something a choice, you'll be willing to take a chance on that choice. When you take a chance on that choice, then the change occurs. But everything in life is a waiting game. We're waiting to die. We're waiting for so many things in life, right? There's value in everything. I even see value in death. Let's say we were immortal, right? If we were immortal, why would I get out of bed today? Tomorrow guaranteed to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that we're going to die, guaranteed, should be the reason why we live our best life today. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's value in everything. It's just the only thing that really, I think, makes two people different is the distance they're willing to go for what they say they want. Right? Because that's what life is. A life is the test on how bad you want the things you say you want, right? But life's a little bit of a different test than I think. Like school, you get the lesson and then you get the test, right? Life's the other way around. You get the test, then you need to learn the lesson after the test.
So you continue to move life.
Yeah. So if you think about it, life is a pop quiz. So what's a pop quiz used for in school? Pop quiz is for you to not pass. Pop quiz to show you what you need to learn for that semester because that's what's going to be taught. We're getting so caught up on failing, quote unquote failing, the test of life, where the only way you fail is if you give up on life. Failure is an illusion. Failure does not occur. As long as you're waking up and you're trying, you're succeeding. But that element, the devil, the enemy, addiction, whatever you want to call it, it's always going to make us feel like we're never having enough success, even when we are having success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's always going to make us feel okay with being lazy when we are lazy. It's going to meet us on whatever spectrum we're on. But what we have to understand is that it's never going to fall back. It's always going to be parallel to us. And the fact that it's always parallel to us should be a reminder that we have something pushing us even when we don't think we have something pushing us. Because the same addiction that brought me to the darkness and dark places, suicide letters, everything, it's the same addiction
at 8 o'clock
that brought
tonight.
me into the light. Like I live in New York City. I'm living in California now, living my dream.
Oh, okay.
I could never come to California because I was on methadone because of my addiction. I'm living in California because of my addiction, because I'm a motivational speaker in California, speaking on recovery. You know what I'm saying? I built a global brand from living inside a treatment facility. I built a clothing line.
Right.
Living inside a treatment facility. I went on tour, got paid, got flown first class from living inside a treatment facility. Our circumstances and environment should never stop us from going where we want to go in life. My circumstances and environment didn't stop me when I was getting high. I got high at Christmas dinner, high at Thanksgiving dinner, high at my father's funeral. I got high because I always wanted to get high because that's what I wanted to do. So whatever's going on around me, like what people say about us, at the end of the day, it's none of our business. That's what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? But people's words are not a slap in the face. People's words could only hurt us because of our reaction to those words. You know what I'm saying? So you can say whatever you want to say to me there, junkie, crackhead, talk about my dead mother,
right.
It's not going to bother me because my reaction to them words is what hurts me. Anger. Anger is the privilege that we give people. You don't get that privilege from me no more. You're not going to get me angry. You're not going to get me off my path. Nothing or no one is going to get me off my path because I'm walking with God now. Like I got this.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like the devil's temptation is a test from God. Like God allows it to see where you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you pass that test and you don't give in to the temptation, you're going to get blessed on top of blessing. Because when you take one step towards him, he takes 3 steps towards you. He moves mountains. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And my life is evidence of that. I'm 38, really no education. You know what I'm saying? No money in the bank, really. No, rap sheet longer than probably anybody. But yet I'm living a life that in Cali, Laguna, on the beach, speaking, helping people, saving lives, all because I gave up my way of doing things. I stepped out of my own way of living. How do you step out of your own way? Stop asking questions, who are you and what you want. Instead, ask who you don't want to be no more and what you don't want. Because that's all I do. I no longer do the things that bring the feelings of my life I don't like. I no longer act the way that makes me feel a little bit upset about it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know how to blow shit up. I know how to manage destruction. I know how to ruin my life. That's why our past is so valuable. Our past is a blueprint for every bad decision, all the mistakes, all the regrets, everything. So when you look back in your past, don't change it. Learn from it. And make it better today. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to walk a straight line, you can't walk that straight line if you're looking behind you, though. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, you gotta let the past be what the past needs to be, and that's just a lesson. Like, if you want to make your life better, like whatever situation you're in right now, how could it get better? And then how could that situation get better? And keep going until you get to a situation that it can't get no better. You just gave yourself a blueprint on how to fix your life without even asking for help. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't want to ask for help because of our pride. I get it. But like, ego and pride are best friends. How you kill the ego, you have to suffer. The ego doesn't want to suffer. The ego wants to make you think that you're doing better than what you need to. And pride is going to come in and tell you you don't need to do something today. You can do it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to break this exterior down. Like I don't care if people judge me. I don't judge myself no more. So your judgment really don't hold no weight.
Right. That's me.
My backyard, my front porch. And the beauty of making my backyard my front porch and bringing out all the skeletons is because if you're going to judge me, I'm going to know right off Jump Street. And now you go kick rocks. I don't need you. Because if you can't accept me for who I used to be, because what we do and who we are two different things. Just because we did some dirt in our past doesn't make us who we are. That didn't have to be who we are today.
Absolutely.
But what happens is, if you're going to judge me on that, thank you. I'm going to thank you for showing me who you are, because I need the right people in my life. Like, you need three different types of people in your life, my opinion, in order to succeed in life, right? You need people that are further down on the road that you want to be on, so they can teach you, open mechanisms, they can teach you techniques that got them where they are, right? And then when you allow someone to teach you something, you give them value, give them purpose. So now, not only are they helping you, you're helping them by allowing them to teach you, right?
I had a question.
People that are on your level, that are walking the walk, feeling the same struggle. So you're being taught about the struggle. You're walking with people that can support you on this struggle. Most important, you need people that are further down on the road than you, so you can teach them what you learned. Because it's the journey that's the most important, not the results of things. You know what I'm saying? And when you're able to give something that you got, you see the appreciation of the journey that you're on, and how much strength and how much growth that you've been able to express, because you can't change the weather with your mind. You gotta sit through the storm. Life is all about patience, trying to push the envelope on things. I'm from New York, so the culture, you guys in Philly, so it's the same shit. The culture's real fast. It's cutting corners, getting faster to a certain place than somebody else without doing as much work. But what gets people to their place that you want to get to is that they did the work to get there. You might be able to get there, but you won't be able to stay there. Because you didn't do the work that got you there. So you won't be able to appreciate it. People that win the lotto go broke because they did not earn that money. People that make 40, 50, 60,000 a year save and put their kids through college because they earned that money.
Yes.
They went to work. They woke up every day. They didn't want to do it. It's about, we don't get anything we deserve. We earn what we deserve in life. So if your life is shitty right now, it has nothing to do with being deserving. You earn that shitty life. Just like I earned the right to have 10, 15 years before I got this life. I earned the right to have that life. But I'm also earning the life I got right now. You only start deserving things when you earn them. So use that ideology, because when you go into deserve things, again, you play the victim for shit. The self-pity for stuff. Oh, my mom died. So, that's life, man. Like life is life. Life is gonna kick your ass on a daily basis. So never stop learning because life is never gonna stop teaching because that's all it's really doing at the end of the day. It's trying to teach you how to succeed with your perspective. How are you looking at it? Because the brain is a beautiful thing.
Yes,
But
it
we
is.
don't control our thoughts. Our thoughts usually control us.
Yes.
So, like, what you have to
Let me see.
understand is when you make your thoughts reality, they destroy you. Not all your thoughts need to become reality, though. You know what I'm saying? And with the brain and the thoughts, like, think of your brain as a battery, right? Battery has negative and a positive charge. They need to work together to like have
Hello.
electricity to power whatever it is, a car or whatever, right? So now, if you
Hello.
have positive thoughts and you think negative, your brain's going to push you back.
Conflicting.
If you got
Hello.
negative thoughts and you think positive, your brain is going to push
Yeah.
you forward. So, like, there's always a silver lining. There's always, you know what I'm saying? There's always something good out of every situation. It's just how bad are you willing to go to look for it, or are you looking for things to be given to you just because you woke up this morning?
Right. You know, it's powerful. I think it's mainly comes down to how much you value life. You know, if you don't put any value in the things that you do, of course you're gonna have a shitty life. You know, everything that you said. I mean, no wonder you took that name, Inspired to Inspire, because I had some questions, but I guess I don't even have to ask the questions because my questions is answered. You know, some of the things that you talked about, I've been going through, I went through, you know, so like I'm saying, a lot of it I've handled well, you know, and you know, now I feel like um I was cross-checked by you because I passed some of the stuff that you're talking about. You know what I mean? And I have sympathy, for what you said about your mother. I too, I lost my mother the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah, that was in 2002. So, it's been a while, but you know, and things that you said about how you came up is also like the way I came up. We didn't have any like drug or anything in there, but like far as father, I can say God rest my father's soul, he was a great man, but he was a bigamist. You know what I mean? And he had other kids. Well, he only had one. Let me stop. But I would run into my father in different spots. I was the only sibling that chased my father around. I was always around. So I don't know if I don't feel like it was any trauma, just seeing my father with uh other women other than my mom. He was there, but like I've never seen him like either kiss, hug, or do anything like that. He was just there. It was a given that you knew that was, the chick that he was talking to. I don't know. My sister had some different stories. Yeah, because she had a fight and a whole bunch of stuff. But Mike, you're dead on, in this walk of life. You are dead on, and I admire what you bring to this podcast. And I'm hoping everybody that ever watched this podcast will see you, because I'm going to keep sharing it everywhere. I'm going to keep sharing it because people need to realize, I'm sorry that our buddy Mills is not here today.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I talked to him. He's working. So, he got to do what he got to do. Yeah, he got to do what he got to do, keep his thing going on, but, when you find somebody with good character, You know what I mean? You got to hold on to them because you never know what they have for you. You know, just like he said, you know, God puts us in these places and he uses people as their vessels, as his vessel. You know what I mean? To get these messages, you know, to the people, you know, and the things that's going on now in the world may be messages that we need to adhere to. We need to listen harder and we need to dig into so that we can find solutions for that. You know, it's a lot of children right now that's suffering with the mental health, and you know, so we actually, maybe because it's easier, Mike, I don't know, maybe, you know, I know that JERNICA, she has her situation, you know, with her daughter. I'm a grandmother. My grandkids is old, okay? I'm 62 years old. My grand Yeah, my grandson, my very first grandchild drowned. He's not here, okay? And he would be, how old are they? They old. They be like 30, 35 years old by now.
About my age. It'd be my age.
Yes, yes. So, you know, that's how me and her became tight because I heard her story. You know, she didn't even know my story, you know, and I was just like, we got to talk about this. This is all we can do. What we got to do, you know. So every Thursday, we're here talking about mental health. We do it, you know. The podcast is Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do it on Tuesdays too. We don't ever let it out. But JERNICA's here on Thursdays, so we can really, you know, dig into recovery. You know, it's the main thing that, you know, we need this world to recover. And if we have to do it little by little, one community at a time, one family at a time, one person, you know what I mean?
One person. Some of us are chosen and some of us aren't. And that's people's purposes. Like, you're either going to be someone that's going to show people how they don't want to live, or you're going to be someone that shows people how they do want to live.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, whatever person you want to be for this world, it's your choice. God gave us the power of choice, but he also, everything that he ever created works together. Ants build together, bees make honey together, birds flock together, lions hunt together. Humans, though, different story. You know what I'm saying? Like, we feel like we could do this ourselves, a lot of us. And those people are the most miserable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because being rich and being wealthy are two different things. I'm a rich man today because of what I do for other people. God will provide if wealth is needed for me to do this on the level I need to do. And I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Rich is your soul. That's what you're going to take with you. This host dies. This ain't going to last forever. Your soul, though, will.
Well,
that's why when people are in comas and the host is unresponsive, they still know what people said around them. They still know who was there when they woke up. You know what I'm saying? But their brain's dead at that time. And then somehow God brings them back, and they heard everything you said about them when they were sleeping. They know who was there because the soul never dies. The host dies. You know? So you want to become rich in your soul before anything, because when you become rich in your soul, I think you'll appreciate when God gives you everything, because he gives us more than what we need. And the one thing he gives us is the opportunity of life. If you cannot appreciate or be grateful when those eyes open, then how can he give you anything else on your plate where you're appreciating?
exactly.
It'll always be about the next thing. It'll always be about the next thing to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're never satisfied.
Never satisfied. That's why the devil wants us to chase things. Because if you're chasing money, you can never have enough money. If you're chasing men or women, you never have enough men or women. If whatever you're chasing, you're never going to have enough of it because you're chasing it.
Because you're chasing.
You could be patient and you could be kind and you could just wait for things. Because life is a waiting game. You're always going to wait. You wait for your paycheck. You wait for the taxes. You wait for the red light.
Yes.
You wait for life is all about a wait. It's
be
how
patient.
you play that waiting game that will make you successful. peaceful in life.
Life rage, like road rage. Don't have life rage. So funny you should mention when you're in a coma or whatever. I have a guest that's gonna come on soon that was in a coma.
Okay.
He's gonna come back. I mean, he came back, and he's gonna come on. I haven't got the date yet, but I had. It was just today. I promise you, just today, he emailed me, and I emailed him back. So I'm waiting for him to email me back with a date.
So what you did is, man, because I don't need to know why things happen. I lost that $100 to give you those things. I'd rather know nothing.
He had
nothing.
He had all these dreams, though. He had all this stuff going on. He had told me a little bit about it. All this stuff going on while he was in the coma. While he was fighting to live, but he was trying to commit suicide in the coma. He wrote a book.
God had a plan, so.
Yeah, I'm saying how he remembers all this stuff, how he was trying to kill himself while he was in this coma. But that's not what he really wanted. He didn't really want to kill himself. No, it's crazy.
That's a good story, though.
It is gonna be. When he comes on, I'll send you the date. Let you know and make sure that you watch it because it's gonna be. Oh my. Yeah, it's nice, and not only that. Anytime I have a guest on or whatever, you could come. You could send me a little message if you want to talk to the guest and come on live with the guest too. That's what because you guys are so inspiring, and the things that we're all going through the same doors mostly, maybe a small different situation or whatever, but we're still going through the doors. We had to live in certain ways that I don't know, that we thought was normal. I know we lived on the street and we didn't even have running water or a gas cooking stove. We was cooking on the pot belly stove and outside with the pump. We didn't have a bathroom. We had an outhouse, but every day we was running up and down the street in our friends' houses and stuff, and they had all these things. We were poor as shit. We didn't know it. We had a farm though, but that stuff was plentiful because we had animals and we had fruit and vegetables. You know what I mean? And my grandfather had the fruit stand, and my parents worked. So other than that, we were fine. You know what I mean? We didn't even care about what we didn't have. Really?
It's about wanting what you already have, not having what you want.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's about what you already have in your life more than enough. And once you can appreciate that, whatever's brought into your life after that is surplus. Because it's not the true success in life. It's not the money in your pocket, the car, taking a path. That's the true success in life. Like being able to wake up and just what other way is there to live? You know what I'm saying? Like if there wasn't sadness in the world, we wouldn't be able to have the scale to know what happiness is. If we were happy all the time, it wouldn't be called happiness.
That's right.
They have a word. They have a place for that. It's called heaven. And that's why we need to be who we need to be, who God needs us to be and wants us to be, so we can make it to that paradise. That paradise is not here. This is boot camp. This is war. This is life. This is what it is. If you could accept it for what it is and start understanding that this is all happening for your benefit, that if the harder your life is, the more you'll love. And I know it's a crazy concept to believe, but when you're able to overcome a struggle, that struggle then becomes admired. And I'm living proof of that. People know my past now. People know what I did. People are now admired by who I am today and the things I've done because of what I've overcome in life.
That's right.
Because our stories don't lie in what we've done. Our stories lie in what we overcome. That's where our stories are really told. You know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever you've done, don't get lost in what you do. Get lost in the process of overcoming it, though. Because that's where the strength comes. Because there's always someone watching. You know what I'm saying? There's always, especially the day and age that we live. But at the very least, God is always watching.
So it's
go ahead.
I'm saying, so it's actually, you know, I'm starting to think a little different right now. Okay, I don't want to say everybody else because this is my thoughts.
Okay.
Recovery. Okay, you switch me from thinking about you know, getting over things as recovery, you know, crutches, anything that we have, you know what I mean? Recovery to overcome. I think it's better.
Yes.
I think it's better. I'd rather overcome than recover from something, because if I have to recover from something, that means that it hurt me.
Getting back to the self-talk is the program you install into your computer, which is the brain. So how you speak to yourself, about the things going in your life,
I love this.
The first step in order to get things done. I don't say the word overbearing. I don't say the word overwhelming. I don't even say failure. I say I don't hit my mark. The devil's been able to study us for thousands of years. Knows us better than we know ourselves. That's how we don't even know ourselves good enough to be cynical about ourselves. So stop being cynical about stuff, because you don't even know yourself fully.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So you're still being woken up in the morning. Your story's not done being written yet. But the question is, are you the architect of the story? Are you writing the story, or are you allowing somebody else to write your story? Because when you take that pen and you start writing the story for yourself, you'll start seeing a lot of change happening in this world.
Right.
For yourself, at least.
Well, that's crazy. Well, Mike, I wish we could really continue this conversation. But as you see, you know, our time is going.
Come back on. I appreciate
anytime.
You guys want to do something once a month, I'm more than happy to come on.
I will keep in touch with you. I think I have your Instagram now, but I definitely have your email address. Yes, I would love for you to come in and inspire.
I know Bill's got my Instagram.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are on TikTok, but
yeah, I'm on TikTok. I'm on everything.
So real quick, for anyone watching, if they do want to reach out to me, again, my name is Michael FIORE, CEO and founder, Inspire. Part of the Sober app on Instagram. I'm Mike, MIKE, FIORE, FIORE. 118 in the bio. You will see the link.
Oh, 118. I got it.
And then in TikTok, it's Inspire, the number 2, Inspire _ anything, we have memberships to the app. The app brings all the amenities of recovery into one place. You have your podcast. I'm going to speak to my partners about getting your podcast on our app.
Oh, wow.
We call it the plug for recovery. Now you got your plug for drugs, you get you what you need. Well, we're the plug for recovery. We got PDF books, audio books, podcasts, training, communities, life coach, recovery coach, virtual events, everything in one place. So you don't even got to go shopping. We consolidate it with the Amazon of recovery, so you could say.
The Amazon of recovery. Wow.
One place. So I'll send you the link for for Android and for Apple. When we're done, I'll get your cell phone number. So this week, you just send the links to people that have Android or Apple, and just let them know that you're the one that referred them. So this way, I can take.
I got both.
There you go. So
I ain't playing.
I'll definitely email you
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for coming through. We're going to keep
like
it.
To end it with a quote, because I'm a big quote guy. So Oscar Wilde has a quote: "Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Who you are is what the world needs to know. So just be yourself, and whoever's not with it, it's their loss at the end of the day. The people that God needs you to meet, you will meet. Do not give up on your dreams, because I'm living my dreams with my eyes wide open these days. I don't have to go to sleep to dream no more, because life is a beautiful place when you have love in it."
You're just great, Mike. Thank you so much. Inspired to inspire, guys. Mike Fiore. Make sure you guys go and check him out online everywhere. Make sure you go on my page underneath this video. You will get his links. Trust me. All right.
Thank you so much. I look forward to speaking to you and working with you in the future.
All right. Thank you, Mike. I'm looking forward.
Out there in Philly.
That's right. All right.
All right. Thank you. God bless.
God bless.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Thank you. Make sure y'all check out our podcast. Janny Schmanny, the Comfort Level. The Comfort Level Podcast, the Anthony Wade Show, the Wake Up Show with IMD, the Midday Madhouse, 856 Entertainment, I Shine Radio Podcast, The Kennel, and that Dumbass Radio Show with Big Dummy. Make sure you write your story, guys. It's all about you. I want to shout out, thank you for our guest, Mike Fiore, and our Thursday co-host, Mogul Queen, JERNICA QUINONES. And we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Taking all the proper precautions to get rich, staying locked in, focused. That's how you get that shit closer than I ever been. I got offers on my table, shit only coming.